Klim product walkthrough. I'm Lucas Eddy, and today we're looking at the newly redesigned, reimagined Adrenaline Pro S GTX BOA boot. If you guys know the history and the reputation of the Adrenaline boot for Klim, we kind of reimagined the snowmobile boot industry way back in the day with the Adrenaline boot. We've continued to refine it and redesign it over the years, and here we are today with the latest iteration of the Adrenaline boot. This is the Pro S boot. We can say S stands for support, because the big thing about this boot is that it's more stable, it's more supportive than it has been in the past. So we really designed it for those aggressive mountain riders, people who are jumping from running board to running board, putting a lot of pressure on their feet, on their ankles, moving around, and they want that support for their feet. If you're not one of these aggressive riders, is this boot still gonna work for you? Of course it is. I'm just saying we really made it for people who are pushing the sport and pushing their equipment to the limits, like our athletes who test this gear for us. So let's get into what's different about this boot this year, because there's a lot of cool changes that we made to this to make it even better than it was before. So let's jump right into it. First things first, on the outside, we have our newly designed proprietary Michelin outsole. So we work with Michelin. You guys know they make great tires, they make great boot soles. We now have the Michelin sole that's been really well appreciated on our Havoc boots on the Adrenaline Pro S GTX BOA here. So we got this unique pattern, similar to like snow tires, lots of grip, lots of traction in the ice, lots of durability and grip on your running boards as well. Now, if you have razor sharp running boards, nothing that's grippy is gonna last forever, but this will hold up fairly well against all of those conditions. So we're super stoked on that. Another thing we did for durability here is this big single reinforced piece across the front and across the heel. This adds durability over that leather main material here throughout the rest of the boot. Another thing we did for durability is we improved the strength of this nylon that's inside the tongue here. So it's kind of hard to see, but it's right across there next to where these BOA laces run. And now it's significantly more durable, so these laces won't wear out that material that's in between the leather right in there. So another durability thing we added. Another thing we did is we've got this molded tongue in here. So now the tongue is a little bit stiffer than it was before, provides some of that support on the front of your ankle, and the rest of the boot is also more supportive now. So throughout this midsole and the outsole, everything built together is now more supportive. So it's not gonna flex as much. You can see I'm trying to push this boot. It's actually pretty stiff, it's pretty supportive. So you can expect a little bit of break-in time. You get these boots, it might be a little bit too stiff for your liking. Keep wearing them, break them in, they'll feel great. Another awesome thing that I'm super stoked about on these boots is the new lacing system. So we did a couple things here. One is we changed the routing of these laces. So they run in a different pattern than they did before that distributes the force of the closure a lot more evenly across the foot and across the front of the ankle. So not so many hot spots, not so much pinching, way more comfort, way more support, way more distributed force, more evenly across the front there with that new lacing pattern. If you look on the inside here, we protected the inside laces. So we don't want these open laces here to get torn up or caught on your running boards or on anything else on the sled. So we've got this whole rubber panel in here that protects all of that on the inside. On the outside, we do still have this open lace structure. So that means ice and debris and everything can fall out of these laces. They're not gonna bind up that BOA as much. And now the most important thing about the new BOA system here, which is super cool, there's actually a couple things. See how that coils on its own? You don't have to coil up the BOA as much. You can probably hear that. So you put your foot in and it cinches up and you just dial up the rest of it as you need. So you're no longer dialing up, 5 feet worth of BOA as you crank that thing up. Same thing on the side there. Dial it up and let it pull itself back in. Now, the other really cool thing about these laces, particularly about the BOA dial here, is these are designed to pop off. So if you somehow slip off your sled and break off your BOA, now you're not stranded with loose BOA in the mountains. Pretty cool. This is designed to pop off. You put it back on, don't freak out if this happens on the hill. Clear out your laces, pull it straight. So notice how I'm pulling all this out. And then there's some tabs. You'll see they'll notch in, they'll index, and then they'll turn. So we find that gap, push it in, turn it sideways. It just turns a little bit, now it's locked in. Now it's not gonna go anywhere, and we dial it back up. Super, super simple. We love this because now we've got longer durability, we've got fewer broken parts. Okay, and there you go, we're back in business. And that same thing, that break off, that snap off, that breakaway works for all the dials on the boot. So we're super stoked about that. That's really going to save some headaches for you guys who are really getting crazy and falling off your sleds and tearing your boots up. So those are the exciting new features on the Adrenaline Pro S GTX BOA boot. The things that you know already work and are super good for these boots are that 3M thin synthetic insulation throughout the boot, keep your feet warm, and of course, Gore-Tex waterproof construction. Those things should go without saying for climb boots. These are super solid. We're super stoked on this new Adrenaline Pro S GTX BOA boot. If you guys have any questions, hit us up in the comments. Follow us on all the social platforms. We're on there. Check it out. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.